the role of Executive Coordinator for the Canadian section of the Wildlife Society, formerly past President of, well, I never actually went into past President, I was Executive, but past President of the Canadian section of the Wildlife Society, past President of the Manitoba chapter, served on the Manitoba chapter for about 7 years, starting as a student representative and working my way through. And we are speaking, I'll let Rick introduce himself, but we're speaking on behalf of Dr. Merlin Shoesmith, who put this presentation together, and who is a longtime member, fellow, right, correct, of the Wildlife Society, and was unable to be here. So I just wanted to pay recognition to Merlin Shoesmith, and this is really an important message that he wanted to share with you. So we're doing so on his behalf this evening. I'll let you say hello.
Hello. I'm Rick Baydack, professor in environmental science and studies, U of M, been there for a long, long time. I've been president of the Wildlife Society, the big organization, Wildlife Society, also Canadian section rep to that council, currently the Canadian section president, also been Manitoba chapter president, etc., etc., etc. But you don't want to hear about me, you want to hear about what Merlin Shoesmith has put together here, about why do students matter to the Wildlife Society. And just before we begin, I think we should acknowledge that the University of Winnipeg student chapter is present tonight. Linnea Martin is here as the president of the student chapter. And that is, of course, one of the Canadian university student chapters that we have in place now in Canada. And it's great to see you out, and I'm sure some of your colleagues are with you, Linnea, so thanks for coming out.
Maybe we'll just take a moment. There are a number of past presidents for the Manitoba chapter in the room tonight. And as students are networking after this formal portion of the program breaks up, please take advantage of touching base with any questions that you might have of those individuals. We have, Dean, were you president at one point?
No.
We're working on you.
No, I'm trying to beat it up.
Sorry, yeah, we're working on you. Dennis Brannon. Don Sexton, apologies Don Sexton, Dave Walker, Brian Kiss, as you all met. Jonathan Weens is somewhere in the crowd, although he might have gone to the washroom. Is there anyone else I'm missing? I'm trying to see with the light. But there are a number of individuals that have made the Wildlife Society a big part of their careers in the room, and I really strongly encourage students to take advantage and ask any questions that you might have of them. Questions?
Yeah.
Ready?
And I think a lot of us started as student members too, right? You were undergrad rep to begin.
I was. That's how I started, and I'm going to talk about that in a moment. Coming down the pipeline. Yeah. Okay. So the nature of what we're talking about tonight is to really touch base with all of you and tell you guys how important the student cohort is to the Wildlife Society, to the Manitoba chapter, to the Canadian section, and to the organization as a whole. So that's what this is all about. I'm going to let go of that for a second. Okay, one of the questions that Merlin had was how many students are there in attendance tonight? Current students, whether you're at U of M, U of W, Brandon U, how many of you are in the room?
Vast majority.
Wow. So look around, and that answers the question of how important students are to the programming and events that we're running. How many of you are attending a Wildlife Society event for the first time? Welcome. Thank you for being here. How many of you in the room have been a member? You are a current student, but you've been a member of the Wildlife Society for more than a year. Excellent. Great to see. I don't know how many of you, it's okay, but how many of you are Manitoba chapter members, how many of you are Canadian section members, and how many of you are members of the Wildlife Society as a whole. But at any level, students are an important part of what we do, and we're going to try and explain that in the next few slides.
And just to say that as a student, your membership benefits as a member of the full society, the parent society, whatever we want to call it, is really something you should seriously look at. Because the organization represents over 10,000 wildlife professionals, mainly in North America. It's a professional association of wildlife biologists, managers, conservationists, etc. across the world. It's highly respected, well known in Canada and the United States, and it really does offer you a great opportunity, I think, to get yourself immersed in the wildlife profession. Some of us just returned from a major conference, the annual conference held in Cleveland this year. 1,650 roughly attendees, and about 55% of the attendees were students, some of whom are from Manitoba or in the room here tonight. Next September, the conference will be held in Reno, Nevada. It will be a joint conference between the Wildlife Society and the American Fisheries Society. They're expecting over 3,000 attendees, and again, with the expectation that more than 50% of those will be students. So there's an opportunity to meet and link and network with students not only in Manitoba, but elsewhere in North America and frankly across the world. So I really would urge you to keep an eye on those membership activities, not only at the Manitoba chapter level, Canadian section, but also at the parent organization.
So I first went to my first conference in '07 as a master's student to Miami, and I can tell you from experience there is no better opportunity that is provided to you. You really walk away from those with a huge amount of learning, and it's great for your resume. If you can speak at a conference that has 16, 17, 3,000 delegates, that is a huge opportunity for people in the room. So remember that and take advantage.
And there are awards available if you're presenting a paper or a poster. Awards available from the Parent Society, from the Canadian section, from the Manitoba chapter, as well if you're in the Clayton H. Riddell Faculty of Environment, Earth and Resources. Our dean has promised to match whatever funding you get from other sources. So you essentially go on an all-expense paid trip. So it's a really great opportunity. I don't know if the Dean of the Faculty of Science is willing to do that or not yet, but maybe we should shape her into that if she's not yet willing to provide that support.
So
I don't know how this thing works.
It does, I don't think it does. As a basic breakdown here, you can see that the international TWS, we call TWS Parent, that we have 10,700 members, of which 2,900 of those are from the student cohort, so a really strong representation there at 27%. Canadian section of the Wildlife Society has roughly 303 members, of which 41 of those are students. We've got opportunity here and certainly want to look at where our opportunities are to encourage students to become a part of the Canadian section. And at the Manitoba chapter level, you can see how strong that student representation is for our Manitoba chapter. And so really one of the things that we've been focused on for a number of years, and thank goodness to the U of W with their strong efforts happening, is we want to make sure it's University of Manitoba, University of Winnipeg, University College of the North, U of Brandon University. We want to make sure we're province-wide in our benefits to students and our opportunities for students, so that it's not just Winnipeg-based. And so that's something that's ongoing and that we're working really hard on.
Well, don't change it yet. The interesting thing I think you see here is again the fewer number at the Canadian section level, I think is indicative of the situation that we have students spread across the country. We have, I think it's up to what, 6 or 8 student chapters across Canada. So the strength is in the local organization, no question about it. But the sections, which there are 8 across North America, hold an annual conference as well. So we will be in Canmore, Alberta, March 22nd to 24th. The U of Alberta student chapter is going to organize a student conclave. This will be a full-day event with all sorts of activities, field experiences, field trips, speakers, etc. that will build upon their efforts to bring students into their local chapter. So again, a great opportunity, funding is available, so don't hesitate to take advantage of this sort of opportunity. And I think Dennis Brandon here has said he will carry as many students as he can in his vehicle to get them to Canmore this March, right, Brent?
First he's heard of it. First he's heard of it. There you go. There you go. So we wanted to just take a moment to try to talk about some of the benefits that we think the Wildlife Society offers to you. And we've talked about a few of them already, but the most important, or what we hope is the most important, is learning opportunities. And that's through educational workshops that we provide, training opportunities that are available, whether it be turkey banding or goose banding, learning techniques and skills through those workshops and training opportunities that you may not have from other places, and those conferences being such a great forum for students to present their work and to be a part of a bigger, broader experience. Networking with other wildlifers, I said to Rick, I started this in 2007 when I had a professor that said to me, try out for the student, whatever it's called, student rep on the Manitoba chapter. And I started out, and I've been on the Manitoba chapter, the Canadian section executive, ever since. So that's 11 years or something, meaning that it's made such a huge difference to me in terms of networking. When I go and look at a journal online, the authors of that journal are people I'm seeing at these conferences who now know me and I know them. There's no more value in that. And these are the top-notch, most humble, most honorable human beings that I've had the privilege to meet. And it's made such a difference to me in my career and my journey. I can't tell you enough how important it is to be a part of that whole experience. So that is a big one. Volunteer opportunities. We had a meeting today with professionals who indicated that one of the major things they're looking for from students is what volunteer engagement you've had. And the Wildlife Society offers you that opportunity. There's tons of ways for you to volunteer and to get involved. It takes a village. We need all of you to make this thing come together. And it's a great resume builder. So from that point of view, a major benefit. Connecting with people in programs, certification. Maybe I'll turn over because you're better at talking about certification than I am.
Well, it's the next bullet there, certification of professional credentials. The Wildlife Society offers a professional certification program, which is a requirement, I guess, in many U.S. states. It's becoming a requirement in Canadian provinces. BC, Alberta, and Quebec require people working in the wildlife field to now be certified. They have provincial standards in those provinces. We're working with those provincial agencies to try to establish the Wildlife Society credential as a certified wildlife biologist as the Canadian credential that all provinces should turn to. So this is much like a professional engineer, professional hydrologist, professional forester, that basically you have to show competency in a variety of different areas based upon your undergraduate and graduate education. After completing that, you start out as what is known as an associate wildlife biologist. 5 years of experience down the road takes you into the category of a full certified wildlife biologist. So that is something to consider. We've developed a curriculum now at the University of Manitoba where we can identify all the courses you would need in your undergraduate in order to reach the certification standards. Again, it's on the website of the Riddell faculty. We're hoping the Faculty of Science will follow suit. So far, I don't think they have. But essentially, certification is really a critical component, and it will become even more so in the coming years. Enjoyment of working with wildlife. Well, don't leave it yet. That, to me, is the whole idea of why you're here. I mean, wildlife are what makes this career just so important. Someone once said to me that if you find a job that you love, you never have to work a day in your life. And I really feel that that's the experience I've had over close to 40 years now working in this profession. It's just been a wonderful experience. And to go back a couple of bullets to networking with other wildlifers, Emily Thoroski, who's doing our video here tonight, we were able to get her to the Cleveland conference, again with support from our dean and the Riddell faculty. And essentially she interviewed some of these prominent wildlife professionals. And at first I think Emily was a little nervous, but by the end of the conference she was in there like a dirty shirt, if I would say. And she found everybody who she possibly could and would sit them down and spend, half an hour or so with them. And now the next step is to edit all the tapes and hopefully have a really concise description of why wildlife is important to them as professionals and how they use things like adaptive management habitat management, and a number of other things in their professional careers. So again, great opportunities for networking, learning, etc., etc.
One of the cool things, and I don't want to put words in Emily's mouth, but this is the upper echelon of our profession. I mean, these are people that are most cited, that have produced just outstanding and phenomenal work, and they are so generous and so humble. That's why I think I found this such a rewarding organization to be part of. But just, you know, hey, yeah, let's sit down and take 45 minutes or an hour without ever having met her before at an incredibly busy event, that they're devoting themselves to the process of student learning. And so to me, the give back that you get is just outstanding.
But why do students matter? Well, I think as Merlin outlines here, we need leaders for this next generation. A lot of us are retired or about to retire, and you know, we need this upcoming new generation to carry the torch, if you will, for the wildlife resource, for the things that we find so important in this profession. That's why we hope that you will continue, not only while you're in your university careers, but certainly afterward as well. When I finished my PhD at Colorado State University way back when, in the 1980s, my major professor, as I was leaving him in his office, said, "Baydack, don't forget that you have to keep your membership in a professional organization." He didn't specify the Wildlife Society. He said, keep your membership in a professional organization, because otherwise you will be obsolete within 6 months of graduation. And that really resonated. I've never forgotten that. And the Wildlife Society was my choice, and I hope it's your choice. That if you don't stay current, if you don't continue to develop, it's lifelong learning. And the Society is able to do that. I mean, the package we offer now are all of our journals. If you're a member of the Wildlife Society, not necessarily just the Manitoba chapter, the full society, you get all the journals for free. There's no extra expense. You don't have to go to the library. Just load it up on your computer. You find the article that you want. So it's an amazing benefit, and becoming a leader in this field is certainly where this society can take you. Graduate students are the new scientists. Well, you might as well talk about this.
Yeah, I'll say this. I keep saying it takes a village because I fundamentally believe that. And it takes new voices, and it takes different perspectives, and it takes diversity. And we need it to be not just those that have been a part of it for 20, 30, X years. It takes those that are new. To make sure that we are doing what we should be doing, and that we're hearing everybody, and we're directing our efforts to the right places. And so you are critically, the student cohort is critically important to us, to make sure that we're doing what we can be doing to best support you. And you are the new voices. You are on the cutting edge of new research. And so a lot of times we're learning from you as much as we hope to ever offer any education back to you. We are learning tons by having that relationship. And so it's critically important to us that student cohort is a part of what we're doing, and a part of our executive, a part of our planning, a part of our committee. So we really, really encourage you to get involved.
New perspectives and voices. I mean, I can't even begin to think how many great ideas have come from my students over the years about the society, how to do things differently, about my teaching, about the courses we offer in our programs. I mean, your ideas are every bit as important as somebody with a tremendous amount of experience. So don't ever forget that. I think don't hesitate to bring forward those ideas at any time.
Okay, so this was our final slide. Don't worry, we're almost done. And that is, what can we do better for you? And we're thinking about this all the time. And please know that this is a fundamental piece of conversation that we're having at all levels of the society. What can we do better to meet your needs, to engage you, to involve you? We want to hear from you. So if you have any suggestion, positive, negative, critique, whatever, please reach out and let us know. Secondly, we want all of you involved. So if anyone has an interest in joining any committee at any level, you can reach out. I put my email address there. I will connect you to who you need to be connected to advance that cause. But we need you guys, and we hope we can encourage you to get involved and become a pillar in what we're trying to do, because you're critically important in the process.
You've said it all. Questions? It takes a village.
Could you explain a little more about this credential aspect to the law study now?
Which aspect?
We said that, is it a course or
Certification?
certification, yes.
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean?
Well,
What's involved?
it means that you have to kind of plan your undergraduate program as you maneuver through your coursework. And at the end of the day, if you meet all the requirements, and it's not just in wildlife, it's wildlife management, wildlife biology, zoology, ecology, botany, which often creates some concern for a lot of people in wildlife. Things like physical sciences, social sciences, what else? Administration and law, communication. So there's a whole variety of different courses that you need to show competency in, and along with that, some experience in the wildlife profession. So work experience. So we wish.
You have to be an undergraduate or critical, we'll get that kind of stuff.
And you can apply anytime after your first degree. Some students wait until their master's to apply, because they then have further credits from coursework and the thesis and so on. But no, it's available anytime. It doesn't have to be immediately upon graduation. We could go to Don Sexton, who graduated back in the 70s. He could still apply if he chose to. I've not been able to convince him. He says it's too late for him.
One of the other programs I'll mention is the Leadership Institute, which is geared toward, I had the privilege of going to the program. Jonathan Weems, if he's somewhere out there, he might have left, sorry, I keep calling him. Brian Kiss. There have been a number of Manitobans that have been accepted. This is a program offered through the Parent Society, and it's for a young professional, somebody that is starting out in their career and wants to learn a little bit about leadership, a little bit about management, how to work in conflict resolution situations. So certainly another great program that you can put on your resume that gives you that little bit of extra boost as you go out and start on your career path. So another one to keep in mind.
I was just going to say that we did a certification workshop in September that we recorded, and we're going to put on the website in the coming months, so there'll be more information on it there.
And the brochure, is it on the Canadian website?
Yeah.
I missed it.
The brochure, the Canadian brochure on certification.
It's on the Canadian section website, right? This brochure, I don't know if we have any hard copies. We gave them all away to
Leslie.
Yeah.
So they're in the environment.
Yeah.
Geography.
But if you have questions on certification, don't hesitate to contact any of the three of us.
Yeah, and if you guys, I missed the slide, but keep my email up there. Not that I have the answers, but I can direct you to the right, I'll play traffic coordinator here and direct you to the right spot if you have any questions about different programming. Any other questions for us? Okay.
Does your websites and you directs to any work, paid work, other than volunteering
Yeah, you know what, the best way, for sure, you can go to the website. Each website has an email address, so you could contact Manitoba chapter and they would take care of you. You can contact the Canadian section, they'll take care of you. Or Aiden, you can reach out to me and I'll take care of you. So if you have an interest in a certain area, we'll try and probe and see where your interest areas lie and match you in the right spot. But we'd love it.
So the overall website is just wildlife.org, and that'll connect you to a chapter, to a section, plus to the parent organization. You just have to click on the right tabs, and you'll find, local networking, I think it's called. It'll take you right to the section and to the chapter.
And the International Society, their emails includes with the job opportunities currently open. So they'll have, there's normally at least one, all the way up to 5 I've seen of different job openings.
Well, thank you all very much.
We had another
We have
question.
another question.
Yeah, I'm a first year student in university, so my question is if I want to get involved with the Baydack Society, and in the end I want a certificate of a wildlife biologist, but I don't have any field experience. Maybe with co-op I would have. So, like, can I get the certification, or will I get the certification after my job? Or
Yeah, the initial associate wildlife biologist, what's known as the AWB, is given to students with their coursework only. Then if you choose to continue, after 5 years of work experience, you become a full certified wildlife biologist. So there's a 5-year interval. You do not need the work experience beforehand, just the university coursework. And then afterward, you can build upon the AWB to get you to the full certification level.